Hello everybody, this is Marie-Charlotte from the Supply Chain Logistics Summit. To introduce myself briefly, I'm the Senior Global Product Manager in charge of the organization of the 13th Annual Supply Chain Logistics Summit. This year we're going to be in Miami, sunny Miami in Florida, between the 27th of October and the 29th of October. So the reason being we're really trying to widen the scope of the event to include Latin America and Mexico, as well as the US and Canada. So who are we? We are WTG Events. We specialize in organizing summits. We've got 5 portfolios: supply chain and manufacturing, energy, food and beverage, business performance, and pharma. And please welcome Dave Maletfant, the chair of our this year's summit, to introduce to you the program and the agenda.
The theme this year is going to be strategic supply chain and how to survive in a competitive world. We really concentrate on how to re-energize, re-innovate the supply chain. We're going to see the renaissance of supply chain leaders. And we're also going to have supply chain at the mercy of its environment. We're going to have an Ignite talk where we're going to talk about the supply chain, where the supply chain becomes the ultimate marketing tool. We minimize the slide, trying to have a very rapid pace. I think using Twitter, using some of the digital platforms that have been evolved, using social media is going to be really, really important. And trying to really look at the end-to-end supply chain, panel discussion, live chat about how we're going to be able to really use supplier relationship management to be a strategic edge, the sourcing strategy and how we manage our suppliers, how deep we go back in the supply chain, going to the supplier, and how we do that relationship. What's going to be exciting is we're going to have what's called a sound clash, which is really having a very, very hip debate that we really need to look at. Is demand-driven supply chain really something of the future? How do we bridge the customer experience life cycle? And we've got to be a little bit provocative and say, should we be worrying about forecasts, or should we really be worrying about the customer experience? Well, I think we're going to tackle it in 3 ways. One is really, how are we going to survive the supply chain war of talent? How are we going to bring the millenniums into the fold? We have these discussions all the time, and how does it fit within the strategy? And then how define supply chain and think out of the box. And we're going to talk about a few things. First of all, trade compliance continues to be very, very important. Trade compliance of the new regulations, and as countries become a lot more protective, and a lot of the free movement is not as free as it used to be. So we're going to have a couple of sessions on trade compliance. One of the interesting things of the survey is the whole area of data analytics, supply chain analytics, and big data, and how it's handled. We're going to have an open story telling Mic Jam, where people are going to be able to come up and talk about how they handle big data. People can really pick up some great ideas by having this open mic and storytelling part of it.
The Supply Chain and Logistics Summit in its 13th edition will also be featuring a social networking event. So first we're going to kick off on October 26th, the social networking party in Miami. Then on day 1, October 27th, we will have drinks and dinner and a charity to the benefit of Food for the Poor. And then on day 2, we will organize a lost lecture in an unknown venue to talk about some very specific topic relating to the supply chain. Also, we'll be organizing some book signings with featured authors and publishers.